my cell phone shows that we're live, and we are live, but I'm waiting to see if anybody's joining us yet. So just give it a minute.
Today is April the 2nd.
I think it's the 3rd. Let me just round check. Yeah, Wednesday the 3rd. Oh, why isn't it showing? There's live. Okay, we're live, and we don't have anybody with us yet, but they come in pretty quickly.
All right, we're live, and it is April the 3rd, 2019. Nobody has joined us yet, so we're talking to the wind. Something I'm getting quite used to, actually. Folks, let me tell you, I know you're frustrated. I know things don't seem to be happening fast enough. And I can only imagine you're just getting bored with it all. Another day, another nothing. More politics being played, more things going on behind the scenes that people don't see, more damage being done to the country that people don't know about. The southern border has finally reached a point where it's exploding. It's only going to get worse, you can imagine. They're not kidding when they give it the equivalency of a Cat 5 hurricane as far as the damage being done. I mean, just think, if you will, $100,000 a month crossing the border illegally, times $74,000 each one yearly. And the number just keeps growing and growing and growing, and the debt gets bigger and bigger. And the system is going to break. And the politicians are playing politics. They're still hell-bent to get rid of Trump, despite the damage their neglect to the country is doing. That's where we're at. Now, Mary Ellen, why is there nobody here? You didn't do what?
We've got 5 people. We've got 5 people here. I'm sorry I forgot to advertise yesterday that we'd be live again. I just, I put out a reminder every day, and I didn't do that yesterday.
Okay.
We have 5 with us.
To the 5 that are here. Welcome. I'm troubled. I have been absent for a couple of days. I had to be. And to be honest, I'm extremely depressed, demoralized. There's been no support to the program, which makes you wonder why. What am I doing wrong? And I take all the blame. It's me somehow, some way. I'm not flashy enough, juicy enough. But just know this, I've tried to tell you the truth. And I'm going to tell you today just a little bit about what tomorrow's going to look like. And I don't mean tomorrow. I want to describe what's coming if we fail in 2020. Soon after the election, if Trump loses, very soon after the election, because if Trump loses, we can surmise that so too will the House stay in the in
Yes.
2020. And if Trump gets defeated, so too will a goodly number of those. Certainly enough to put the Senate in control of the Democrats. The case for America will be closed. Now, it won't happen immediately. They're not day after the election going to declare we're no longer the United States of America. No, they won't do that. But the first thing on their agenda will be, as has been the case with most every country that has gone socialist, after the new Congress and the new president is sworn in, there will be a crisis in the financial world. Market will plummet. People will start going crazy. And remember, with the Democrats having control of both houses and the presidency, and now you know they can create anything they want with the willingness of the media. So the media and the Democrats, the progressives, will dummy up a financial crisis, the likes to which we have never seen before, as they will present it to the public. And of course, the only way to protect the American people will be to nationalize the banks. So one day soon after they are sworn in, you will see a few days of turmoil, crises, played up big time by the media and the government. Of course, they'll blame it all on Trump and the failure of his administration, as they will tell you. And the only way to save the country, as they will put it, will be to nationalize the banks. Now, what would that mean to all of you? Well, using other countries around the world, and what happened with them, some still going on, by the way. The first thing that'll happen is they'll freeze accounts. And then they'll come out, and it won't matter not if you've got $1 million in the account or if you got $5 billion in the account, there will be an amount of money that you're allowed to take out per week. Some nominal amount of money. I think in Greece it was $65 a week, the equivalent to $65 a week. You will start having to learn to live on $65 a week, or whatever the amount will be that they set. Industry will start to falter. Businesses, of course, can't run when they can't pay their employees. So then what happens? The government will have to work out arrangements between business and labor unions and the workers. Something will have to be put together to accommodate it. And this is when socialism starts taking its bite into the country. If you're working at a job, you'll be asked to continue working at the job. Your employer will be asked to keep doing whatever it is they do or you do for them. The things will not be the same. You see, because when you go into the nationalization of the banks, when you go into freezing the accounts, when you go into establishing the amount of money people can take uniformly out of their account each week, you see, don't you, that the American market, which is the American purchasing market, drives the world, the economic condition of the world. And when it goes down, and people don't have money, they can't buy things. When they can't buy things, then why do you keep making things? Because you're making things that you can't sell. starts snowballing from there. One day, someday in the future, the American worker will have to compete with low income. And it won't be the illegal immigrants driving down wages. See, the thing that's going to be different this time versus any other country that has ever been a communist country or a socialist country, there's something in America that's different, that changes the whole scenario. You're going to have, if you're working, you're going to have to work at a salary that competes with artificial intelligence. That's right. Don't worry about competing with the illegal immigrant coming in and how cheap they'll work. If you want to keep your job, you're going to have to be able to work at a rate that is cheaper than artificial intelligence. Machines. I don't need to tell you all the machines. You got 100 workers. About 2 or 3 machines can do the work of 100 workers. Any of you out there now, if you're still gainfully employed in manufacturing, you're already a slave to artificial intelligence. Did you know that? You already are. You see, your job is to keep that machine working. Whatever the machine needs, it's your job to do it for it. By definition, that could be twisted around to say that you're a slave to that machine. So, manufacturing in America is going to become complicated enough. Even if we stay a representative, constitutional representative Republic, it's going to be complicated enough in the future. Just because of artificial intelligence. I mean, this whole thing's going to get complicated. But then when you add to it, doing it under socialism will make it almost impossible. Healthcare. Healthcare from its inception, I believe, my opinion, healthcare has been the precursor to population control. Population control. Now, when we cross over that great divide from the present government we have into this new socialism world, several things are going to be obvious. People need to eat. You have to have food. You have to have money to buy food. People are going to get sick. You have to have medicine. You have to have money to buy medicine. Only the people in the collective, only the elitist group will live a life similar to our lives today. They won't, they'll get it. You see, as I talked yesterday with Jason Goodwin, and we were talking about the Jesse Smollett, I guess it's how you pronounce his name, Smollett.
Smollett.
In his case,
Smollett.
Smollett, okay, excuse me. In his case, you see an example of what I've tried to tell you for many, many years. There's this elitist group. And what they've done through progressives, they have come through, and they not only, we see them taking over the FBI and the high levels of the CIA and NSA in Congress. We see all of that. What you don't see is how they have permeated, how they have gone out and they've taken over prosecutors, federal prosecutors. And then in the case of that Smollett, we're seeing where they actually have control of state's attorneys, state prosecutors. And so with a phone call to the right person, and a phone call from the right person to that woman prosecutor, an oddball ruling comes out. And he walks. And it's as though it didn't happen. He just went away. That's the world we're going to live in. That's the world that's coming in a bigger way. will trickle down to your county sheriff. It will trickle down to your county prosecutor. Let me tell you how it's going to be. You're going to get in a situation under this socialism, this progressive, let's call it democratic socialism that they're promoting, so proud of. Let me tell you what's going to end up. You've got a daughter. And let's just say the county prosecutor wants your daughter to go out with him. And she doesn't want to. And she refuses his gestures. Maybe he even gets rough, mean. If you dare to challenge that prosecutor with a twist of his little finger, he can have your daughter or even your family arrested. Pick somebody out of your family and have them arrested, have them charged with some bogus crime with nothing on earth to do with. The family will be destroyed. Since they'll also have the prosecutor, they'll also have the judge. So your case, which is against your daughter or your family because she would not go out with that prosecutor, is brought before court, and the court's rigged because the judge is rigged. And you're not part of the elitist group. So they may determine you need to spend time in jail, or you will go to jail for a crime you had nothing to do with. And it's obvious you had nothing to do with it. Everybody knows you had nothing to do with it. But there will be absolutely nothing you can do about it. Nothing. Now, soon after the banks are nationalized, soon after all of this crisis with work and jobs and labor, can't buy, gotta pay, gotta sell, all of these things take place. There's going to be another issue brought up about health care. And all of a sudden the government's going to figure out, using X's and O's, that the more children we keep having, each child represents a debt to the collective. So they're going to fix it to where, at least, as they will say, to get you to go along with it, at least for a period of time, here's an emergency situation. Here's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to limit children being born. So therefore, if you're going to have a child, you'll have to get it cleared through your local government, which will work in concert with the federal government. And they'll tell you whether you can or can't have a child. You say, well, that's crazy. Well, it's been done in China. I don't know that they're still doing it, but they did do it for a period of years. So now they eliminate babies being born. Then, we've already seen with abortion, they would just broaden the abortion abilities. And not only being that discussed by the mother, but it will be that the government has a say-so as to whether or not an abortion should have to take place, depending on where it is in its trimester. It won't matter. The government will determine whether you abort the baby, abort the child. Yeah.
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
Maryland tried to pass an assisted suicide law, and part of their law was that any family member who felt it was necessary could request it. And do you know how close the vote was? The vote failed 23 to 23. The only reason it failed was it was a dead heat.
Yep. Oh, I'm telling you, we live in a wonderful society with our politicians. We sure do. Our failures and our moral stature as a nation is eating us alive. Well, back to where that children will be taken care of because the government will determine what you can have, when you can have it. some physical problem, you can't work. You become that nasty thing to the collective. You become a liability. See, under socialism, the government don't like liabilities now. I'm telling you. It just don't like liabilities. And in a socialism environment, people aren't people anymore. You're just things. You're objects. You're objects. And there are objects that the government feels like it can afford, and there's objects that it feels like it can't afford. And just like you with this car or throw out something that you no longer want or need, or you stop doing something that's costing you too much, the collective will do just that. So this whole problem of legacy contracts, they don't have legacy contracts in socialist countries. Did you know that? They don't have legacy. Now, what is a legacy contract? A legacy contract is retirement, Social Security. They don't have that stuff. They don't have retirement plans. Retirement's permanent. When you retire, it's over. And this new health care that the Democrats and Obama passed, you heard them talk about death panels. And of course, we were told, oh, there's no such thing as death panels. There's not. But like everything else the government tells today, that's a lie. Now, the death panel has a panel where people sit around a table and say, here's case number 2,675, and this is Joe Blow. He just turned 70 or 65. He no longer worked or what. It's not that kind of a panel. It's not that kind of thing. What they're already doing in the interest of Obamacare towards population growth and to cut back on legacy contracts, problems of the liability. What they do is they say, hey, when you get retired, when you get old, there's medicine to extend your life. There certainly is. But unfortunately, Obamacare don't pay for it. So presently what happens, something I know a lot about, there may be medicine that can extend your life, and the government says, hey, we're not killing you off. But the price of the medicine is so high that you can't afford it. So you can't get it. What's the difference in that and cutting you off from medicines? It's just the wording. It's just semantics. They know, in our case today, because remember today we still have Social Security and people have retirement. Money's coming in, some do. They know today that when you're on a fixed income, when you retire, you don't have much money in most cases. So all they got to do is say, golly, you can have medicine to extend your life. We wouldn't stop you from it. That would be cruel and unusual punishment. We're not stopping you from getting the medicine to continue life or make you live longer. You can buy it. We can't buy it for you, but you can buy it. So you know what happens? People can't get it. And when you can't get it, what happens? Life don't go on today. You know, the miracles of modern medicine. If you can't get to the modern medicines, if you can't afford the modern medicines, then guess what? The modern medicines don't exist to you. You're left on your own. You die off. And once they fully become the cold, hard socialist country that's coming, once we get in full gear socialism, they won't even bother to play that game. 10 category. So that means the deductible is either 5,000 per person per year, or 7,000 per person per year, or 10,000 per person per year. Now, what does that mean? Simply broken down, you've got Obamacare. You're paying an exorbitant fee compared to the old days when insurance companies were in control. Now, Obamacare and the government are. But before you can get one bit of use of that insurance program you're paying exorbitant fees for, if you're in the 5,000 category, you've got to pay the first $5,000 before it even kicks in. Per person, per family, per year. Think about that. $5,000. Now the other one is $7,000. The other one's $10,000. People trying to reduce the amount of the premium, they get $10,000 deductible. With $10,000, that means you can't get any help from that insurance policy you're paying for until you pay the first $10,000 worth of stuff. Most people can go through the whole year and never spend that much at all. So that means you're paying for something that you're not even going to get any use of. At least Trump got rid of the mandate because the mandate said you had to buy it whether you wanted to or not. This is socialism. This is socialism. Oh, what about guns? What about guns? After the election in 2020, if Trump is defeated and the Democrats take the Senate as well, it'll be only a matter of time until they will outlaw anyone in America from privately owning firearms. You will be forced. You'll be given a certain amount of time to turn them in. And after that period of time, if you're found to have a weapon in your home, you will be a criminal. 100% purity. You say, well, you don't think that can happen? Well, look at what was the country that just did it. Gave everybody 90 days. Turn in their weapons.
Was that New Zealand?
New Zealand, yes. You see, under socialism, you're not going to have guns. See, they know in socialism that the life will be so hard, that people will revolt. And they're not going to allow the revolt to take place. People having firearms. They're not. They're going to stop it. It has nothing to do with crime. It has to do with control. You like socialism yet? It is sounding yet like something we want to wish on our children and grandchildren. Does it? I'm working on getting a movie made. Hopefully we get it done in short order with quality. And the whole purpose of the movie is to literally show America under socialism exactly what's going to happen, how it will take place. And you say, well, you know these things will take place because they've been in the plan even since I was with them. It's there. It's there. They have a timetable. They've got an objective. They've got what they want to do. They know how they're going to do it. And they've got plenty of history to show how to pull this transformation off. And we're sitting here, not fault, committed. They're all in. We're not. We still suffer from believing that America's always been free since we've been around. Therefore, it'll always be. Nothing has to be forever. We have to fight for it. Freedom is just one of those precious things you have to fight to protect it. Because there are a lot of people that want to control us. There are a lot of people that want the power of this great nation. They want it. They've committed lifetimes to getting it. And they're finally at the point where they can do it. They can seal it. They can seal the deal in 2020. They can. And I'm at the end of my rope. I don't know what to do. I can't make you join up, commit. I can't snap my finger and have an army. I can't grab people into it. I have to ask. And I've heard all the excuses. We don't have to worry, God's got it. No, God don't. God does, we don't. There's so many people have just rudely dumped it on God's lap. He'll help us. He expects us to do something. It's been that way throughout the Bible. I'm no biblical scholar, I know. And I'm not here to lecture those of you that think you are. But I know enough about it to know God helped great men in great battles. And they won. But men had to fight them, and women had to fight. I know there's an awful lot of people that think I don't need to do anything because Joe's going to do it. I don't need to do anything because Larry's going to do it. I don't need to do anything because we elected politicians and they're going to do it. That ain't working. It's not that way. We're all pieces of the whole. And every little piece has got to work. You know, just like ants, you know how ants form armies and ants build hives and all the little ants carry little bitty crumbs. Not enough crumbs, each individual ant to do any good. But when you put all those ants together carrying their little crumbs, the structures they build are impressive. Impressive. We like those ants. We've each got to carry a little crumb, a part of the whole. Because if we don't, the whole thing will collapse. But we're not doing it. Ask you for help, financial help. Ask people to send $1, just $1. People don't. They don't understand the symbolism of that. Some of the dollar isn't the money. If you don't send telling yourself, no, I'll do it. But I'm just not going to send it out. No, you won't. And then there's that good old Q and all of the Qs on the internet. They got it figured. They got it figured. There's going to be thousands of prosecutions through tribunals, military tribunals. That's going to save the day. Don't worry about it. It's not true. It's not true. But the irony is, even if it were true, some of you don't get it. If that's true, then our Constitution has to be set aside for that to happen. And what we're supposedly fighting for is to protect and defend the Constitution. Not to set it aside and set it aside for whatever reason. Maybe good, maybe bad, whatever. We ever let go of that Constitution for any reason, for any period of time, it will never come back. Never. The government don't take things and give them back. They don't do that. Never has. Oh, they passed a lot of stuff over the years saying this is just a temporary tax. Just for a while. Just until the bridge gets built. Don't take it back. If we ever lose our Constitution for a moment, it don't ever come back. And by the way, they're not people. There are generals. There are no generals that are sitting ready to serve citizens' arrest on our government, on all the people in Washington. That's an absolute lie. But I am amazed at the number of people that believe it. Until I understand why they believe it. People believe that because they want that to happen so they don't have to do anything. See, everything's always contingent on somebody else doing something. Somebody else is going to do it. There's going to be tribunals, you don't have to worry about that. There's going to be generals that take over, take citizens' arrest, so I don't have to worry.
I have a question, Larry. I hear people, even good people in various community leadership positions, talking about we need to take our country back. We need to get 100,000 people to go and do it ourselves. So what would happen if 100,000 people showed up in DC thinking that they were going to do citizen arrest on whoever in the Russell building or whatever they thought they were going to do?
Nothing. Number one, there wouldn't be 100,000 people show up. And they're not going to go. What power would they have to make citizens arrest? Because I got to break it to you. If you did make in Washington citizens arrest, you have to turn that arrest, if that were possible, you'd have to turn it over to what? To whom? The federal prosecutor to prosecute the case. Now, any of y'all really believe that 1 million people bringing citizens arrest to a prosecutor is going to force a prosecutor that's in the clique, that's in the system, that's a part of the criminal cartel that controls Washington? Do you really believe that they're going to prosecute a case brought by citizens?
I didn't think so.
And by the way, you can call in and ask a question. You can call in to the number that you want to right now. I've just about talked up the hour, but you can call in 712-451-0725. and then use the access number of 492-215-pound. You are welcome to ask the question or make a comment.
Okay, here's somebody saying, couldn't the sheriff deputize the American patriots to pull it off?
The sheriff could deputize anybody he wants to. The sheriff could deputize anybody he wants to, but you still got to take it where. The citizens arrest are only part of it. Citizens arrest only work. In theory, if you had an honest judiciary to work it through. And of course we don't. If it's a federal case, you got to go to a federal prosecutor. I'm sorry, you got to go to a federal prosecutor, and that federal prosecutor has the power to determine whether or not he will or she will or will not pursue a case. Ain't gonna happen. Y'all can go on and do it if you want to, but it ain't gonna happen. Sandy here. Yes, Sandy.
Hey, Larry.
Hey. What you got, buddy?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, I just had to step out and join the conversation 30 minutes into it. But anyway, I'm on to the last part of it, and I just want to say this, that I think you're right, Larry. No 100,000 are going to show up. Shame on us. Shame on us. Read my chat. The creator is in control, and I'm responding to John Ham here. And he is, but he works through us. He works through us. So, I have nothing else to add to that. He works through us. So, yes, he has it. And it's the last thing I believe that the Lord wants is for this country to go down, because the planet is revolved around the United States for years and years, and now we're looking at demise. So yeah, the Lord has it, and we can buy some time. Larry has said it over and over. Yes,
go ahead and let me say this, buddy. I think God's already shown us a miracle. He gave us some. No, we can't win that race. We won. Now the question is, what have we done to support him? What have we done to support the man he put in office?
Yeah. That's right. He's right, folks. He's right. What are we doing?
Purpose of today's program. Because I have thought about this and thought about this. Worked hard. Sandy and many others have helped. We're not building it on you. We're just not. People aren't sending the dollar, so therefore they won't make the phone calls. So this Friday will be the last of these programs. I'm not going to do it anymore. I have failed.
Larry, I'm sorry, but you have not failed. People are asking questions. Well, if we had your knowledge, if we would be more confident, and then the majority doesn't want to know, well, who are we that if we had your knowledge, we'd be more confident? Well, those are the people that follow you, Larry, and I don't get it. I have no idea.
Well, I have no idea, folks. You had my knowledge. You knew the things I was doing. You knew the things I was trying to work on. You would be just where I am today. You would know that you have to have people to help. Oh, God, it's not help. Now, what I'm going to do at the end of this program, which ends Friday, the last one, I will continue on with the people that have supported the program with a conference call. I owe that to the folks that have been helpful. But we're not going to pretend anymore that this program's going to be able to help build an army, because it's not. It's not.
Well, may I say something, Larry? Larry has posted many, many videos, and so you can catch up if you have the time. And everything he says is documented, is true, and the man is, you know, he's not getting credit for the good things he's done in his life, and that's just part of the system nowadays. And Larry, just catch up, folks. Just catch up and do something.
Just do this. Y'all going to have to make your mind up at some time with somebody. You're going to have to get down with somebody that you want to sit, and you're going to watch this country fall apart. And I'm going to blame every damn one of you. I will. I'll blame every damn one of you that have not lifted a finger. It's on you. Yeah. Now that's pretty ugly, you know. I know it, but I mean it to be. It's true. I'm sick of people talking. I'm sick of gossip. I'm sick of rumor mongering. I'm sick of chasing one-tone stories that are out on the internet. And people spreading them around, making it impossible for those of us trying to get serious people, the everyday guy, who's starting to wake up and starting to see things. Because when he touches one of us that has been following all that crap, their eyes roll back in your head. We're our worst enemy. Now, I don't know if these people on the internet are disinformation. I don't know if they're just stupid. I don't know if they're doing it for entertainment, for themselves. They shouldn't be forced to declare. But they don't. And they go by these truck driver handles, Q and corn pone Joe and whatever. If you don't have enough pride in what you say, if you don't know what you say is the truth, then don't say anything at all. If you won't put your name on it, then don't say it. That's right. Larry speaks. So folks, you need to make your minds up. You need to make your minds up what you want to do. Because it's on you now. I'm not going to ask you anymore. Tired of asking. Tired of begging. You know, I've tried, I'll tell you this, I have tried to always tell you straight up the truth as I know it. I've always tried, if it was my opinion, to make sure you knew it was my opinion, and that's all it's worth. I've tried to always, if I got it from some news story, tell you where I got it, so you can verify the credibility of your own. But it's up to you now. It's up to you.
Yeah. Larry, I must say, thank you for your loyalty to the people who do help, and we're here for you, and you know that. And I just don't think it's enough, because you deserve so much more, Larry. You deserve the very best life has to offer. So I just want you to know that. And I wish that people would, well, we all wish for the same thing. We all want people to, you know, chip in $1 or whatever else they can do. But it just may take 7 or 8 of us to go. By George, that's what we're going to do, Larry. So, please.
Now let me do this. And if anybody else got a comment, questions on that chat thing, comment.
Well, here's somebody said, you have not failed. It's not you. It's the people that I wish had your gumption, by other words, but gumption. Somebody else said, my two teens are starting to ask more about you since your messages to them. You haven't failed my family. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm sorry, but I have, and I accept it. But, well, you got anything bad?
That's all that's here, hon, today.
No, I meant from you. You got anything bad before we go?
Anything to add myself? No, sir.
Okay,
This,
see you tomorrow. I'll be here Friday.
I
You
will.
need to find another source. Now, we will get in touch if we know how to get in touch with you. We've been a supporter of the program. You need to be sure that Marilyn knows how to get hold of you, so we can contact you and tell you how we're good each day. There's a lady named Mary that helped when we were close to making a decision. Mary, you need to get us your information so we know how to get hold of you to let you know. And the rest of you, as I say, if you've been a supporter for your knowledge, I appreciate and love you for being here. And I'm not turning away from y'all. But the freeloaders, hell with them all. So with that, folks, any other questions or comments? If not,
I've got a couple things. Larry's PayPal is nicholslive@aol.com, or you can go to the website, nicholslive.com. Please buy the t-shirt. We need to have those all over, and even though the price is more than you might pay for a t-shirt, it is top quality. It sells at Neiman Marcus for $180, and at some of the other local shops for $50 for this quality of cotton t-shirt. And there is Larry's CD is there. His music, you can listen to it. You can hear a sample of it. That's listed underneath the video here. We've got a ring. We've got a necklace. That's all advertised on nicholslive.com. Buy something. Help us get the message out that we don't want socialism and we're patriots. And there's a bumper sticker there as well. Tonight at 8 Central, 9 Eastern, we're going to be discussing Chapter 5 of 28 Years to Nowhere. So we'd be happy to have you join us. We'd love to have you join and ask questions, even if you don't want to participate in the question in the discussion. You can ask questions. It's a way for you to have access. So that number is just what we're using right now, 712-451-0725, and the access code is 492-215#, and that is also listed underneath the video here. Thank you.
I hope to see you tomorrow. Have a good day.
Larry.
Bye-bye. You too. See you all.